came across your Instagram, and then I found your YouTube channel. And so why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself first? You know, who you are, where you grew up, how you got into health and wellness.
Right. Number one, I'm 71 years old, and I rock. Yesterday, I taught a class at CB East. It's a high school. And we challenged every single kid to a push-up contest. I said 100 push-ups every 6 minutes for 1 hour.
You beat them all, right?
No one challenged me.
Wow.
You know what? I couldn't do it. I lied.
But you're in very good health. For
I am in good shape.
Years old. I mean,
yeah.
It seems like, and I've met some other people in your age range who've been also living this raw lifestyle,
right.
And it seems like it's almost the closest we can get to the fountain of youth right now.
Almost.
What do you think?
Yeah, very good. So I started at when did I start? That's a good question. I started as a meat eater. And then at age 22, I had somewhat of an awakening. At age 22, I was at an ice cream parlor on the way to a pizza parlor. And what are you drinking? Is that water?
This is apple juice, distilled water, and chlorella.
Would not recommend that.
No?
That's okay. At age 22, I was stopped in the middle of the street. And right in the middle of the street, this force stopped me and says, Arnold, you got to do great things in your life. And I looked around. There's a girl on the other side. Says, do you see that person? Because in the middle of the street, I stopped. And the person said, I didn't see that person. Anyway, the person said to me, Arnold, you're going to do great things in your life. You've got to help save the world. And I didn't get that till 40 years later. Until I was 62, then I got it. And to this day, every single day, I focus on what can I do to help save the world. Every single day, I focus on. Every single day. So I'm inspired. I'm motivated. That's what I think about. Like right now, I'm writing a Hall of Fame. Right, Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
List of people I've helped. I put on my bulletin board. You know, people with brain cancer, breast cancer, fibromyalgia, lupus. Doesn't really matter. And I started being a raw vegan at age. At 45 years old, I had a heart attack. I didn't think I would live to 46, and I began studying. 7 years later, I came across raw food, came across something called Natural Hygiene by T.C. Fry. And at the time, I did own a health food store, and I've been a raw vegan almost 19 years now.
That's fantastic.
I know. I did the shortened version. I'm married. I have 4 kids, 12 grandkids, 1 great grandkid. I'm the only raw vegan, but I do the best I can.
And have you found it difficult with family trying to explain this message to them, or how do they react to it?
Most of them think I'm you know, it's funny because my daughter works with me, so that makes it easier. So I do have somewhat of an ally. My son, he's 37. He understands it. Doesn't follow, but understands. Once a week I go to his house and feed him. My grandkids to come to my store, feed them. I don't know, it doesn't matter. I mean, I'm on a mission. Me, myself, and I. You know what that means? I don't depend on anybody. My goal is just to spread the word. They get it, they fine. They don't get it, that's fine too. I'm very, very persistent on my mission statement.
So how many years ago was Arnold's Way founded?
It actually started when I was 45 years old. Mm-hmm. At 45 years old, I had a junk food business. I sell snacks, candy. And one day I went to Wendy's. Wendy's, I know my normal hamburger, I had my French fries, I had my Coke. And every time I went to this Wendy's, I got a newspaper. And this time, the newspaper that I got was not there. So I reached in for another newspaper. And as soon as I reached in for another newspaper, I said to myself, that my world changed. The picture was the newspaper had a picture of David Duke. It said the Jews are a threat to this country. I said to David Duke in the newspaper, not on my watch, but I will do whatever I can to change the whole country. That's how it started. 6 months later, I had a health food store. I didn't know what to do. The only thing is I knew I had to do something. And I figured the easiest way to do it was for me to create a health food store and create more and more health food stores to change the energy of this country. And to this day, I'm still doing that. I thought I could change the country like 2 years ago. I had a plan, a master plan. It didn't work out.
I mean, you certainly inspired me.
Right.
I was already, doing a raw food potluck with a friend of mine, but after seeing your Instagram and watching what you do, I mean, I know that I want to do a raw vegan cafe here in Boston.
Oh, good.
I think this city really needs it. So it's working. What you're doing is working for sure. And so we've discussed that, you do offer consultations. What other services do you offer on top of that? I mean, you guys have a lot of great food, right?
Number one,
I know, you're
I'm a
working,
writer. I'm a writer. I've written 21
right
books.
now?
I've written 21 books.
Right. You've written a lot of. I was just looking those up. I didn't even realize that when I first scheduled our interview.
Yeah.
And that's fascinating. I'm gonna start looking at those.
I've written 21 books. 10 are on Amazon. I just finished another one. Should be finished in another month or two. It's called Body's Intelligence equals Fruit equals Love, blatantly in your face. I also do is sometimes this is Lauren.
Hi, Lauren.
Hi.
Lauren came to me about, I met her at Woodstock. She came to me about 2 months ago. She says, Arnold, I want to move in with you. I said, what the heck? Lauren, at that time, suffered from something called muscular dystrophy, and she had diabetes. In my mind, there's no way could I take care of her. No way. But at the same time, this other girl came to me and says, Arnold, I want to move in with you. I says, brilliant. I have you take care of her. So, lo and behold, 2 weeks later or 3 weeks later, Lauren's my home run hitter. She doesn't look like a home run hitter, but she's my home run hitter. I knew if she came to me, there's a good chance of, she had muscular dystrophy for 7 years. You know what that means? Maybe 2 years, 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, tell me more about muscular dystrophy.
Muscular dystrophy is she couldn't walk for 7 years, and she was getting worse and worse. And she learned about raw vegan maybe a year ago, but she kind of fiddle-faddle with it, and she wanted to be a little more serious. So I said, you know what? We'll take it to the next level. So she came to me. She could only walk 4 steps. Now she's walked like maybe 300-400 steps without any.
Watching the progress.
We're watching the progress, and her diabetes went from 300 to 100. This is like unheard of.
Does that mean diabetes is gone?
Well, it's never gone, I don't think, but her numbers went from 300, 250, 300. Well, maybe about 200. I think she came about 200. Now it's only 100. And I'm saying to you that diabetes, 30 million Americans suffer from diabetes. And I'm saying, now I want more and more people know that diabetes can be wiped out in a month's time. Muscular dystrophy, there is no hope. No means zero. And I'm saying to the public, if muscular dystrophy can be healed, every else disease can be healed. Right now I'm writing to this guy, I don't know whether he wants to hear it or not. He has something called ALS. ALS, he just lies in his bed and can only move his eyes. I said, listen, I remember a 7-page letter. I said, listen, I think we can help you. He has nothing to lose. Which anybody has which might scour the newspapers, this and that, boom, boom, boom. Anybody's sick, I write him a letter, says, listen, you follow this program, whatever you have can disappear. My goal is no disease in this world. I also am trying to work with basketball players, football players, any athlete who's willing to listen. I write to them. Not I write to them, but I do whatever I can to get a hold of them. Right now, there's a basketball player called Porter. I think he plays for the Denver Nuggets. Doug Graham's working with him. There's another guy called Kyle Jenner. He just became a vegan. And I've another. We just did an interview maybe about a week ago about a guy who specializes in athletic performance and raw food. He wants to start being a trainer. Actually, Mike Velasquez is a weightlifter too. He deadlifts 500 pounds.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Mike.
Yes. So that's my goal. Wherever someone is sick, I want to reach to them and saying there is an option. And the thing is, don't believe a word I say. It has to resonate with them as their truth, not my truth.
Right. So, I mean, you've written all these books. Are they all about raw food?
All about raw. And I did 9 documentaries. Two albums.
I was just fascinated right away just watching your Instagram. I didn't do my homework, man.
Didn't do your homework.
I need to look into this stuff.
Like, whenever I go someplace, like, I go for a supermarket, I'm carrying 250 pounds of bananas. I went to the supermarket yesterday, I got 250 pounds of bananas. He says, it's 10 minutes before my ship. I said, listen, you have no idea what I'm going to share with you. Bananas are the key for changing the world. Bananas can cure cancer, can cure all these diseases. You should be honored that you getting 250 pounds of bananas from me. And then I go to the cashier, and then I go to tell them all about bananas.
Yeah, I've seen so much change happen in myself from consuming mostly fruit. And
yes.
Like you said, it's it's my own experience that I know that it's true. So that's awesome. So every book is about raw food. I mean, you have recipe books, right?
Right. I've written 3 children's books. 3 children's books about Johnny Newsell, about Johnny Newsell, how he eats food and feels better. I have 1 children's album geared for happy song. I've wrote another album about different diseases. I wrote a couple Instagrams. I wrote a couple rap songs. I'm into it.
You have I've noticed on your YouTube channel you have the 7 steps to staying young.
Yes.
So tell us what those 7 steps are.
Number 1, love. That to me is the most important thing. You can be eating right, you can be exercising, you can be sleeping, but if you don't have love of yourself and love of every moment you're in, it's not going to work. I mean, I know a girl right now is dying of cancer. She's a vegan, raw vegan, in fact. Love is a key factor. Number 2, which means everything is love. I mean, when you eat something, your body understands English. If you're putting food in your body, the body's not one, the body's going to react. So that's why it's...
This girl who has cancer,
yeah.
How long has she been a raw vegan?
15 years.
Wow, and is it... I mean, that's... Yeah, I know it's a sensitive subject. I'm just...
Yeah, I don't want to really talk about it because people may know her. So let's bypass that.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, but
the thing is, love is the key factor. Raw food is one part, but you gotta have love in your heart at all times. You understand what I'm saying? Every moment's a loving, caring moment. So if you're eating raw and you're angry over people who are not being raw, or you're angry at your job, you're angry at your environment, you're angry at this, it's not going to work. You have a bad relationship with a woman, guarantees it's not going to work. You have a bad relationship at your job, you're eating raw, it's not going to work. You got to put yourself in the most loving, caring environment at all times. In my opinion. Number 2, species-specific diet. I eat mostly fruit. I do eat cooked food. I eat mostly fruit. I have at least 15 minutes a day. I focus on fruit in the morning. I eat my fat at lunchtime. Then I'm back to my fruit. I like to stop eating like 6 o'clock. I mean, at least 10, 15 hours a day, I'm dry fasting. No food, no water.
I've heard the dry fasting is really good for the kidneys.
Really good for everything. It replenishes your soul because the body uses no energy on digestion. Food does not heal, only the body heals. Food does not heal, only the body heals. Number 3 is...
You said, sorry, I'm going to throw in just one tab here. You said that you don't eat any cooked food, right?
I do eat cooked food.
A little bit?
About 3 times a week, 4 times a week.
So how much of your diet? What percentage of your diet would you say is raw?
Fruit, mostly fruit, 90%.
Okay.
To me, that works best. There's something called the yellow canary theory. Familiar with that?
No.
Yellow canary theory states that if you're so pure that you're prone to getting sick over everything. Mm-hmm. Say, for example, like today I went to pick up a picture, right? I could smell it immediately. Or I go to an incense shop, I smell it immediately. I don't be so sensitive that I can't live in this country. So I believe in a little toxic waste makes my body move much faster.
You inoculate yourself with it.
Yeah, I do. Yeah. I mean, my lifestyle works for me. My key is being a loving, caring environment at all times. That's my key. And then a lot of my philosophy, how is it to my benefit? What can I learn from this experience? Which means I can never have a bad day, ever. You know what I mean? I can never have a bad day. You know what that means? I can never, ever have a bad day. I had one bad day once, that was 7 years ago.
What happened on that day?
I don't want to talk about it.
Okay, good. That's good. All right, number 3.
Number 3 is, number 2 is species-specific diet. That's mostly fruit. Number 3 is exercise. I'm a big believer in rebounding. I have a rebounder here. I rebound in the morning. I rebound at night. Like just yesterday I did, this morning I did maybe about 1,000 jumps, 600 sit-ups, 900 butt exercises. At nighttime I'll do maybe about 200 jumps. 200 jumps, I mean, let's talk about high jumps. 100 at a time. Do I wake you up when I do? Sometimes.
How long would you say that takes you?
At nighttime, what I do is sometimes I watch TV and I'll jump for maybe about 15, 20, 25 minutes. And then I'll finish it up with like high jumps, which means I try to touch my butt on each jump.
Okay.
So
you're rebounding and you're doing calisthenics mostly, right?
Yeah. Well, and then I did, like this morning, I did planks, I did push-ups, I did squats. I have a rock climbing room. I do something called gym. I do a little bit of everything.
So staying fit. I mean, I know that I don't feel good unless I do some kind of exercise.
Right. How old are you?
I'm 29.
You're 29. Wow, you look good.
Thank you.
And how long have you been a raw vegan?
I've been high raw for most of this past year. Well, yeah, pretty much for almost a year now.
Yeah.
A few of those months were completely raw, but I wanted to. I have a cooked food addiction.
Yeah,
and
so do I. Enjoy it.
When I start, I can't stop. So I had to do this juice fast,
Right.
the John Rose protocol.
I heard about John Rose. I'm not a big fan of juicing. Just not. But you know, everyone has their thing.
Well, I think it's worked for me because
Right.
I ate some soaked prunes today. I broke the fast, and
Yeah.
they were one of the best things I've ever eaten. So
Yeah.
I think it does help reset the feedback system in a way. But yeah, if whatever works.
Right, you do it where if I cook food, like next day I'll eat bananas and I'm fine. If I eat 2 or 3 meals in a row, then I'm in trouble. But then I'll go back to bananas. That works best for me.
I have this. I have a condition called IgA deficiency.
What's that?
It's IgA, immunoglobulin antibody, which is responsible for creating the mucus that lines the gut and that lines my sinuses. And because I lack that, I have very little protection from particulates that might enter the bloodstream. So I have to eat this way. If I eat cooked food, too many necrotic particulates get through. So
Wow.
that's also what helped me to stop, smoking weed and doing all kinds of other bad stuff. It's like it forced me to be good.
Is that common? Is that a common disease in this country?
I don't think it's very common. They say, there's 3 gene mutations that can be found that are linked to it. I don't know. I've never been tested to see if I have those. I was on a lot of medication when I was an adolescent, and one of the side effects of one of those medications was depleted IgA output. And so they thought it was just the medication, but after I went off of it, it stuck. So they're telling me that it's genetic, but I also know that your body can dystrophy, if you're doing a substance that knocks out its output. So
Good.
That's my story. But so we got love, we got species-specific diet, we have exercise,
sleep. Ideally, you should go to bed between 10 and 10:30. Ideally, I go to bed at 11, but generally, I've been going to bed at 11 for years. But lately, I want to switch to 10:30. I mean, I like to go. My schedule like to be 10:30, 6:30, 6:30, 8:30 work out, 8:30 be at work by 8:30. My store opens at 10. I do own a cafe 27 years, and I love it. Don't make much money, but I love. Well, 27 years. Certain periods I made a lot of money. Certain periods I made no money. Right now I'm in the period of making no money.
I don't know any. I'm so terrible when it comes to money. I don't know how any of that stuff works.
You know what? I don't either. I mean, I give away a lot of free food. And hopefully the universe just provides the energy to sustain me. I'm very lucky right now. I don't really need a salary for my store, so I'm pretty lucky. So I can just give away all the food I want, and I still work like 55, 60 hours a week.
That's so great.
And I'm always on. You know what I mean? No matter where I am, I'm working. I'm working right now.
Yeah, that's.
And when this conversation ends, I have to go to my store and get a. I read an article on tamoxifen, right? Tamoxifen is a drug by the Imperial Drug Company against breast cancer. And this girl takes tamoxifen every single day. She's afraid of not taking it. And I promised her by tonight, you will get an article that I wrote on tamoxifen. If not, I'm going to go to Barnes & Noble, look for that book to show you that, send her the article.
I just love your ambition, and I really find it so admirable. I would like to strive to be like that myself.
Rock and roll. You want to open a cafe, right?
Yes.
When by?
What?
You gotta give a date. If you don't give a date, it's not going to happen.
Honestly,
and I'm gonna hold you to it.
I want to do it now.
Well, you got to create money. You have money. You don't have money.
Not much. This is what I do. I usually go. This past summer, I was going to these produce wholesalers. There's like these dry docks around here.
Yeah.
You can buy a lot of the fruit and veg by the case.
You can.
It's much cheaper.
Much cheaper.
And I was just actually pulling up next to some train stations in the city and setting it all up on the sidewalk outside my car.
Yeah.
And just trying to sell it to the public,
Yeah.
So, we host a potluck here once a month at a church, and that church is going to have a commercialized kitchen soon, so I will be doing some stuff out of there.
You can also do dinners, too. You have a commercialized kitchen, you can do dinners.
Yeah, absolutely, dinners.
And you can charge money.
And I can set up a cafe there. I talked to the one of the people on the chair. So, it's gonna happen, man. And I'd really love to have you come over here and join us for a potluck sometime.
Yeah, rock and roll. Put me up.
Absolutely. We have room here for you, my friend.
Yeah.
All right, so we got love. We got species-specific diet, sleep, exercise, sleep.
Fresh air, which means I can have a lot of plants in my house. I try to get I have a lot of plants in my house. It's winter time, but what I do is I try to walk as much as I can. Fresh air. Then it's water. I don't drink water. I rarely drink water. If I have water, it's mostly my smoothies. I don't believe in water, to tell you the truth. And then the last one is fasting. At least 12 hours. Which anybody who's sick, I give them the basics. We have someone comes to me sick. This is the basics. And at the very minimum, eat fruit in the morning. At the very minimum, stop eating at 7:38. The last meal of the day has to be vegetables or fruit. Lunch, eat whatever you want. Just the thing is, you add rather than subtract. You add more fruit in your diet. Add more fruit in your diet, and the body, once it hits a certain level, will start having a click to make you more focused on your health rather than fuel rather than entertainment. Most people look at food as entertainment. You have to see it as fuel.
Okay. So the plants are very important for the air.
Yes.
Right. They inhale the carbon dioxide
Yeah.
and put out oxygen.
Yeah.
And then fasting, that's something I've been experimenting a lot with recently.
I don't do no food, no water.
So you dry, you said
Like
you
I
dry
stop eating.
fast
I stop
2
eating.
hours a day.
Today I stop eating at 5 o'clock. I won't eat until 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. That's 17 hours.
And then there's like a lot more HGH output when you dry fast, or when you just fast in general.
Yeah, what that does, the body begins to replenish itself.
So these are the 7
I mean, rather do dry fasting. Dry fasting is 3 times more powerful than water fasting.
Yeah, that's what I've been hearing a lot of
Right.
lately. Dr. Noonan Rod just put out a video where he was citing a new study that just came out that he feels is really the confirmation, for that fasting is the best, one of the best things for your way of life.
Right.
I have a friend, Sunchild, who I interviewed on here earlier this year, and he'll dry fast, also for at least 15, 18 hours a day.
Right.
And if he gets and he's a bodybuilder, so if he
Right.
gets any kind of injury in the gym, he'll dry fast for 2 days.
Right.
Before he goes back to the gym, but he'll be completely fine.
Completely fine. 2 days.
I
I believe that. Yeah, absolutely.
So we got our
How
7
much time
steps.
left? Is that
Love. Species-specific diet, which is mostly
That's
fruit
plenty.
because we're frugivores.
What?
It's mostly fruit because we're frugivores.
We're
right?
frugivores, yeah.